What's up, Radar Cars family? And so the mods begin on the 2020 Ducati Diavel 1260S. If you're new here, you might want to subscribe because you see those purple lines there? Those are related to a couple of mods that are going to make this bike one of the fastest accelerating bikes in the world, which it already is. Stay tuned for that, it's coming. But in the meantime, one thing that always bothered me about this motorcycle and most motorcycles is having to take your key out of your pocket to access your gasoline cap. Not only is that a pain in the butt because this is a keyless system, so you have to keep this in your pocket, but I'm always at the risk of scratching my fine finish with this very metal, very sharp key. And in general, it's just a pain in the butt. So what we did here is we modded our gas cap for two reasons. One is functionality, to make it easier just to open with my hand, and the other is style. Here's what the stock gas cap looks like. It's kind of an ugly-ish silver. Doesn't really go well with the bike. Pain in the butt to operate. And here's what we did to replace it. Let's first talk in terms of style. I have two Italian bikes, and I never put anything on my bike except for beautiful Italian crafted parts and accessories. I have several mods sitting in my garage that we're going to do that are cosmetic mods, all made in Italy. This is by TWM. It's an Italian company. It's billet aluminum, and it is beautiful. As you can see, it's pure black, except for that Italian flag. Got to have that on there. And this little red bit here, which I think complements the bike nicely, with the mostly black but red trellis frame, red S, red Brembos, and red stitching on the S version of the motorcycle seat. So it's subtle, but as you can tell, looks a lot better than stock. Let's go back and forth here. And here is how it operates. This is my first time filling up with it. So altogether, a beautiful add to the bike. So you're going to be seeing a few more cosmetic mods coming. I'll go ahead and tell you what they are now. Their bar ends, their grips, their mirrors, and we're going to be doing something about these levers as well. So stay tuned, it's going to be awesome. Now, let's talk about the nightmare. For those of us who are DIY, I am sharing my experience in trying to accomplish taking this gas cap off myself, off of a very Italian motorcycle, and as you might be able to guess, that was no easy task. So midway through, after about 2 hours of trying, I was able to successfully take it apart. So I'm going to give you instructions after this on how to take it apart if you want to be brave and try to change this cap yourself. There's a couple of caveats that you need to look out for. There's a couple of different connections under there that are weird. There's a couple of tubes and some kind of a fuel drain in there. So there's a few things that I'm going to highlight that you're going to need to watch out for. But the real killer is getting this thing back on. It was crazy to get this thing back on. So ultimately I had to man up, and you'll see what happens. So for those of you who are interested, the next several minutes or so are going to be how to take this thing apart the right way, because there's no service manual that I could find online, and there's no instructions, there's no YouTube on this. So I'm hoping this helps somebody. All right, let's dive in. But first, some words of wisdom. All right, let's remove the stock. We're going to use our 5/32. I love these Bondus Allen wrenches, guys. Or if you're super lazy like me, you get it started with the Bondus, and then you do this. Very carefully extract these bolts. You do not want to drop them on this nice black finish. Take the key out because when you wrestle this off, you don't want to scratch your tank with this. Also close this flap here so it doesn't scratch your tank. There's grease on the hinge, so if you want to keep your fingers clean, keep them away from the hinge. Unlike me. Now I could find no instructions at all on the internet on how to remove this from the Ducati Diavel. So we're just diving in, guys. Okay, you got 4 Phillips screws on the flange here. We're just going to pop those out. And you know what? I am going to cover that hole with a microfiber cloth. There we go. I don't want any of this stuff falling into the gas tank. I am going to hand loosen these just to keep things safe. I don't want the drill just jerking and hitting the finish of the bike. Awesome Phillips screwdriver here, belonged to my dad. Craftsman, very good quality. This thing is about probably, I want to say 40, maybe 45 years old. Here's the proper way to pronounce Ducati in Italian. Ducati. And here's the proper way to pronounce Moto Guzzi. Moto Guzzi. Molto Guzzi. You heard it straight from me, who heard it from my Italian friends. I love Italian. You know, they just make everything right in Italy. Cars, bikes, food, clothes, all these awesome components. Molto Guzzi, Ducati. I love you guys. You're awesome. Thanks for watching. And I'm not just saying that either. Ooh, you gotta be careful that cap comes off back here. You don't want it to smack your tank. Well, boys, we're beyond the point of no return here. I actually have no idea what I'm doing, but we're gonna figure this out together. All right, so I just pulled it up and it started to come out. By the way, this is an awesome flashlight. It is called ViperTech, and it is a flashlight plus, which has a stun gun built into it. And I'm not going to be pushing that stun gun button right now near these fumes, but I'll show you this. This is only like 17 bucks. I'm going to link it in the description if you're interested. Flashlight slash stun gun. I use it when I take out the garbage. We do have an occasional coyote, bear, stray dogs, whatever, so you want to have that little zapping power to scare them away. Keep on trying to gently coax this flange assembly out here. All right, so we have a rubber connector over here. It's connected to, oh, you know what that is? That's got to be the drain right there. We're gonna have to coax that out of there. Tried to find the service manual for this bike, but I guess it's still too new of a bike. I mean, it's not on the internet anywhere. What else is holding it up? It's not just that. It's not just that drain. Something else in the top right here is holding it up. Okay, so that's connected to, there's some kind of a hose connected to this top right here, and I don't know what that is. I couldn't pry it off. Oh, I do have to screw it off. There's a Phillips screw under there. Finally going to use this awesome little tool from Milwaukee here, this 90-degree drill bit. What I'm going to do is put the Phillips head in here and then connect it just to a simple screwdriver, and then get under there and disconnect that flange from the housing. One down, two to go. Coaxing that screw out carefully. One to go. There we go. See, that's where the flange is coming off right there. Okay. There we go. Oh, awesome. There was only 2 screws. Okay, cool. So we don't have to even go in any further. Beautiful. Okay, so now we'll attach the TWM to this. Then I gotta coax that little hose over here back into the hole. But first I'm going to clean out some of those metallic shavings there from the screws. Alright, so as I mentioned, the TWM doesn't have these holes to attach the flange to the assembly here. So what I'll do is, first I'm going to get this back into place. All right, guys, I can't do this. It's not working. My hands are raw and out of strength. I'm gonna just try to take the whole thing out again, put it together, and try to push it down that way, which is, I don't think that's gonna be possible because of the drain over here and because of this hose connection over here. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna have to All right, that's it. Done. You know, it takes a big man to admit when he needs help. I'm gonna have to man up and go to Ducati and ask him to rescue me on this one. Sometimes, guys, it takes a bigger man to swallow his pride and get things done right. So here I am at Hudson Valley Motorcycles, getting this bad boy repaired here. All right, guys, let me know what you think of this beautiful TWM CNC machined billet aluminum cap. I think it complements the bike quite nicely. As always, let's discuss in the comments below. Subscribe if you want to see some mods that no one has done to this bike before. They're on their way. We've got some exciting performance mods coming. Stay tuned. All right, guys, always remember the motto, always be kinder than necessary, and I will see you in the next one.